Alright. Before we go back to reviewing some Legends material, which I know you all want, let's talk about one last new canon book in the Star Wars universe. We're talking about Star Wars Battlefront 2 Inferno Squadron by Christie Golden. Now, Christie Golden has written several Star Wars books, several which were legends, such as the Fate of the Jedi book she wrote. I can't remember names off the top of my head. But she's also written new canon with the Clone Wars novel, Dark Disciples. In this, we follow our Inferno Squadron as they go undercover to attack what's left of Saw Gerrera's partisans that call themselves the Dreamers. Overall, it's an okay read. There's some really good stuff, but there's some bad in here, and it's really bad. Iden is our main character. She's, of course, the leader of Inferno Squadron, a team of 4 Imperial pilots that are now special forces, and they're sent in for because of some leaks of Imperial information, and because Galen Erso created a flaw in the Death Star that he sent to the rebels, the Empire's on high alert. So this is technically a prequel novel to the Battlefront 2 video game, and has absolutely nothing to do with Alexander Freed's novel Battlefront Twilight Company. In fact, this was not the book I was expecting to read. And that's both a positive and a negative. I was expecting to read the novelization of the Battlefront 2 video game, and we didn't get that here. We got a prequel, which is not necessarily bad. I like Inferno Squad. What I don't like about it, and we'll get into this, and we'll get into spoilers here. There is a character that if you are familiar with Dave Filoni's Clone Wars, you will know exactly who it is. And I will spoil it in 3, 2, 1. It's Lux Bonterrier, the Separatist Parliament senator who became a Republic senator, who was part of the Empire and then part of the Rebellion, is now part of the Partisans. You remember him because he was in many episodes of the Clone Wars as Ahsoka's love interest. I never liked him as a character. I found him very wishy-washy, but not in this because he's an old man at this point. But in the Clone Wars, and he joined up with Death Watch at one point. I mean, it's like, okay. And the way he acted, I'm like, it's gotta be Lux. It has to be. He has the relationship with Saul and Steely, or Steela. God, what a terrible name. Dave Filoni, he comes up with the best names in Star Wars, obviously. But I knew it was him, and when the twist was coming around, which Christie Golden did a terrible job with, and trying to hype it up, but if you'd seen the Clone Wars, you know what it is. It's like, come on. It's him. He has connections to the Empire because he was an Imperial senator. Oh, big deal. Also, so you start to kind of like, well, they try to get you to like the Dreamers, which is a dumb name. I know it comes from Forrest Whitaker's worst line in Rogue One. Save the rebellion, save the dream! Like he's like straining on the toilet. They call themselves the Dreamers. I knew right away they're just going to kill all of them. But we don't get that battle. Instead, Iden goes to kill Lux, which they call the Mentor in this. And Lux, Iden comes back, and her squad has murdered everyone. And I'm like, okay, that's a sudden turn of events. That's weird. But I saw it coming a mile away. And then Iden's upset about it. I'm like, why do you care? I mean, you're supposed to be like, she, like, became one of them. They all became one of them. But the thing is, Aiden is, like, ostracized the entire novel. But yet, she still feels bad. She really shouldn't. She wanted them dead to begin with. Why the change of heart? It didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Lastly, it's just this book is really short. Compared to Twilight Company, which felt like, a really, like, satisfying book, this is really short. And you're like, it's a breeze to go through, but there's just some weird things in it. So overall, to me, it's not as bad as the Aftermath books, but I found this book disappointing. I'd have to give it like a 2.5 out of 5. Just not worth your time to read. Unless you really want to read it, go for it, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend it because of the ending. I was liking it until then, until the stupid twist, and it just gave me a bad taste in my mouth. So anyway, have a nice day.